Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kensthetic with the Kensthetics, and I'm here with you guys today with a new video. So today's video is going to be my first book review. In case you guys may or may not know, if you guys watched my last vlog, y'all should know I'm trying to substitute more of like my scrolling time on social media with doing more productive things, teaching myself, researching, learning new things. So one of the things that I told myself that I'm gonna start doing, and I actually started doing, was to read more books. So I gave myself a goal. It's been kind of hard because, you know, life is busy. But I told myself I'm going to try to read at least one book. I started on a Thursday, so I give myself like a Thursday to read a book, and I've been doing pretty okay so far. But I did finish one book so far, and I wanted to give you guys my opinions on these books as I read them, so that if you are someone who is looking to read more books and want more book recommendations, or you're someone who hasn't started reading yet but I'm inspiring y'all to start reading more, then you guys know which books I've read, what I thought about them, whether they're worth the read or not. I just want to share my opinions and let you guys know. In these videos, I'm not going to give you guys any spoilers. I'm not going to sit here and give you guys like any specific like quotes or things from the book. I'm not going to spoil the book. It's more so a review, what I learned, what I wish the book like kind of incorporated, just different perspectives of me reading these books. So sometimes there may be a little spoiler, but it's nothing too serious to where you're like, I don't need to read the book anymore because I watch her book review. I'm not trying to spoil the book at all. Go out, buy these books if I mention that they are worth them. If you are, you know, wanting to read the book but you want to like hear about it before you do, hear a little summary, hear a little opinion, then that is the tea you're gonna get from these videos. So before we get started, make sure y'all subscribe to my channel. We're on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so make sure y'all hit that red subscribe button down below and join the family so that y'all don't miss anything. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy. If you guys want to see more book reviews, give this video a big thumbs up, and do not forget to drop a comment down below with your thoughts, comments, opinions, or anything else that may be on your minds. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So before we get started with today's video, I just wanted to address the look real quick. So I have in my faux crochet locks done by Kimmy, of course. I have on this lipstick. This is a Kat Von D lip liner mixed with Boss Lady from the Lip Bar. So my little lippy from the day. And I have in these earrings that I got from Topshop during their like store closing sale. So I get so many questions about these earrings. They're honestly one of my favorites, but I don't have a link to give you guys, so sorry about that. But yeah, that is the look that the girls are giving today. So today's video is going to be about the first book that I finished, which is Influencer by Brittany Hennessy. Let me get my thumbnail real quick. So this is the first book that I have read, and I was really excited that this was my first book back, and you guys will hear why throughout this video. So it's about building your personal brand in the age of social media, and it's explained as a blueprint to manage and monetize your influence as a content creator. So this book was written by Brittany Hennessy, and I actually found out about Brittany Hennessy about 2 years ago. My friend Nate Panda here on YouTube. If y'all don't subscribe to her channel, then go ahead and subscribe. I'll put it down below. But they told me to go to a workshop with her that was hosted by Brittany Hennessy, and it was basically a panel, different panels of different people in the industry, from brands owners to PR representative for brands to huge influencers, bloggers, all types of different people. So it was a very insightful event, and it was honestly one of the best events that I went to as a content creator, because it showed like different perspective of the industry versus just like somebody who's in it telling me what they did. We got like the brand's perspective, we got the influencer's perspective, we got the person who you speak to directly for brand's perspective, what they look for, what they expect when influencers reach out to them. So all of that shaped my opinion when I like first got started with this whole content creator influencer journey. It was a great eye-opening event that I attended, and ever since then I've been following Brittany Hennessy, and I finally picked up this book and read it. I purchased it a while ago, but I just picked it up and read it. And it was so random because the day that I picked it up to read it was the day that Con Ed was playing games in New York City. The electricity went bye-bye, and I had no other option. I had no phone, no Wi-Fi, none of that. So I was like, let me just pick up this book and start reading. And I actually finished it in about 3 days. So let's go ahead and get into the book. Why don't we? So as I mentioned, I had this book for a while and I recently picked it up to read it, and I feel like the reason that I hesitated to read it was just because I had the fear of just reading this book and being fed the same information that you always get as like a content creator or influencer. Make sure you're posting consistently. Make sure you're posting quality content. Make sure you're using hashtags. Make sure you're tagging brands. All of these things that we hear all of the time as content creators, as influencers. And it's just like, what other things are you gonna tell me to help me win? What other things are you gonna tell me and offer to me to help me elevate my brands? Those are the things that I was looking for. So I kind of hesitated because before reading this book, a lot of like Instagram lives that I joined and like Zoom calls during quarantine that were hosted by like brand owners and people who were helping content creators and influencers level up their brands, most of them gave the same information: the posting consistently, the posting quality content, the hashtags, the comments, all of this stuff. What I learned is that there is no blueprint of being an influencer. There's no blueprint of being a content creator, and that like the journey is different for everyone. It looks different for everyone, and honestly, you just have to find out who you're doing it for, like who you want your audience to be. Figure out like what your niche is or what type of markets or industries you're trying to connect with, and going from there. So once you have that intention, once you know what you're doing, who you're doing it for, I feel like everything else kind of falls into place. And in case you guys are new to my channel, I do influencer chats here on my channel where I speak about different topics from my perspective, my experience, for someone who is a young African-American woman in the industry of being a content creator who has less than 10K on YouTube, less than 10K on Instagram, just sharing my experience and different things that I find that has worked for me throughout my 2 years of experience being a content creator. So if you are someone who is, you know, looks like me, has numbers like me, and you feel discouraged or you don't know what to do when it comes to certain topics, that is the purpose of my influencer chat. So now back to the book, because y'all know I'm always getting sidetracked. So one thing that I really loved about the book was the layout of the book, the way that the book was written. I honestly felt like I was speaking to my homegirl. I was speaking to a mentor. I feel like nothing was sugarcoated. Everything was blatantly stated, and that is what I love. I love the direct communication. I love the raw communication. That is how I communicate. So when other people communicate like that to me, I'm like, okay, girl, we onto something, because just tell me what it is. Just tell me what it is and just tell me how it is. Don't try to sugarcoat nothing. Let me know I'm messing up, or let me know I need to get this in order. And that is the communication that I feel like I need. So the fact that this book gave me that type of communication, I really love. I also loved how throughout the book she incorporated different stories and different answers to questions from different influencers, different people who work with brands and agencies. It was just interesting to see different perspectives versus just her own. So I feel like that made me appreciate the book even more, because I'm like, it's not just the perspective of Brittany, it's also the perspective of influencers, of brand owners, of people who work with agencies. So that way you kind of got a little taste of everything throughout the book. So after reading this book, I had a couple of thoughts, a couple of opinions, a couple of things that I learned. So I just want to go through them very quickly. So I guess we can say one con of this book from my perspective was that a lot of the time while I was reading this book, I kind of felt like the information was like not relatable to me, because it was kind of geared towards like larger influencers. And I don't know if this is me just like playing little, or just me being realistic with where I am right now, if that makes sense. So for instance, there were a couple of examples about like working with brands and like being flown out for like company trips, or booking like your baby or a dog for a campaign and stuff like that. I didn't really feel like related to me. I don't know if it's because I live a basic life, or because your girl is still young, or what, but I just feel like at times I kind of was just like, okay, I can't really use this information right now. But I feel like it was a great way for me to, I guess, start thinking ahead and start preparing for like my future, and just seeing like different perspectives that people who have been doing this for years are experiencing now. So I did feel like at times I was just like, okay, I can't relate to this, but at the same time it was giving me like, step your cookies up before they crumble. So it was kind of a pro and a con, because the con was that it can't relate to me right now, but the pro was that it gave me that mindset. It made me open my mind to be like, okay, down the line, these are things that I'm gonna have to keep in mind when I get to this point of my content creator influencer career, because, you know, speaking things into existence all 2020 and beyond. So that was just one thought that I had about the book. So I guess some constructive criticism about the book is that I feel like I wish that there were more perspective from micro and nano influencers. Most of the influencers included in this book had a little bit under than 100K, a little bit over than 100K, but I feel like I would have loved to hear more from people who had maybe like 25K, 50K, or just people who were like starting off and weren't doing this for years, if that made sense. Because while I did appreciate the experiences from people who've been doing this for a while, it would have been great to also hear from people who kind of just started out, or people who are just blowing up, if that makes sense. So that's just a piece of constructive criticism I had about this book, because it's nice to hear from big people, but it's just like, what about us? What about us? What about the nano influencers who are doing their thing, posting quality content and being recognized by brands? You know what I'm saying? One thing that I really loved about this book was the information provided about rates, how to determine your rate, what you should include in your rate. There were a lot of great points about that throughout this book. And as I mentioned, this book is about monetizing your influence as a content creator. That is one of the key points. And I feel like she really nailed that throughout this book, breaking down different formulas, breaking down different aspects that you could consider that should be in your price as an influencer when you are working with brands. So I really appreciated that. And I actually have a lot of my sticky notes in this book are in the information about the rates. So I did flag those things so that I can quickly go back and reference them whenever I am working with brands. Another great thing that was included in this book were different email templates. So I did a influencer chats about pitching to brands and speaking about like different things to include in emails and different like formats for emails. But I feel like this book gave a lot of great examples for email templates if you are someone who struggles with emails. I'm not the best with emails, but some of the tips in this book, like some of the wording and stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, I can start incorporating that in my emails to brands, or I can even start incorporating it in my emails for my professional life, like my 9-to-5 job. So I really love the email templates that were included in this book. If you are a new influencer, if you are someone who has never pitched to brands before, I feel like the pitching section of this book will be really helpful for you to gain the confidence and to understand how you should be communicating to brands. The last thing that I learned from this book, it gave me a lot of like content, hashtag, and pages to follow inspiration. So throughout the book, like different examples influencers gave or different examples Brittany gave, I'm just like, that's a good example that can fit into like what I'm doing on my social media platforms. So I feel like throughout the book, I did get a lot of inspiration, which I actually loved. Overall, I think this is a great read if you are an influencer, whether you're starting off or you're already a veteran in the game. I think that this book is a must read. It's an easy read. It has 238 pages plus a glossary, which has like definitions of different words. So if you are a beginner and you don't know you know, any acronyms she has in the book, so any words she's using throughout the book, she does a great job explaining them in her glossary to this book. But I would highly recommend this book out. I feel like it was a great refresher, especially being in quarantine and not really having access to like attending events or hearing people like speak too much, hearing people who are really versed in the industry speak too much. I feel like this book was a great pickup and a great read, especially for a time right now. So that is all I have on this book review. I hope that you guys find this helpful. Comment down below and let me know if you guys plan on reading this book after watching this book review. I will have this book linked down below. I did purchase mine from Amazon, so I'll go ahead and include a link down below if you guys are interested in picking this book up and reading it. But comment down below, let me know if you guys read it or when you guys do read it, because y'all gonna read it after watching this video. Make sure you guys comment down below with any thoughts, comments, opinions. If you guys agree with anything in this video, disagree, comment down below and let your girl know. And that's all I have for today's video. Before you guys head out, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Hit that red subscribe button down below. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. If you guys are gonna read this book, give me a big thumbs up so that I know, and drop that comment down below. And until my next video, which will be on Friday, I'll see you guys later.